the final anime that we're talking about. Atri, My Dear Moment. So, this episode starts off kind of where we left off last episode, where Natsuki finally makes his way to the school, and he's like confronting the dude who has been wailing on Atari just like at the end of the last episode, right? And he's sitting there, he's like, no, Atari does have a heart. Atari does matter. She has her feelings, she has her stuff. Like, she is not defective. And the dude's sitting there, he's like, no, she is defective. She's not supposed to feel these things. She's not supposed to be these. She's supposed to be a servant of humans. And here you are convincing a humanoid convincing human that you have a fucking heart and shit like that. You're insane. And he kind of turns his attention to Natsuki as like he's now torturing Natsuki for some reason. He didn't have to. But Atari stands up and she says nothing, right? She stands up, she's like leave Natsuki alone or something like that. And he's just like, oh, and what are you gonna do? And she fucking swings on this dude to the point where he's like, he's bleeding. And then this man just starts tweaking, where apparently he did all of this just to get Atari to finally hurt him. And so he's going off, she's like, oh, see, she is defective. She hurt a human. The humanoids aren't supposed to do this. That's why she's defective. She's dangerous. That's why she needs to be left alone. That's why she needs to go back to the factory. Do you not all see it? And it's kind of fun because it's like, okay, but I get robots aren't supposed to do that, but like, for a robot that is supposed to have like human emotions, you kind of push them to the goddamn brink there. Like, this man low-key tweaking. Like, I get it, you're trying to do a point, but you low-key tweaking. But as he's doing this rant, Natsuki is done. She's just like, alright, I'm kind of just done with this shit. And she just starts giving this man a 1-2 combo. I'm talking like this, she's fucking throwing left hooks, the fucking left, she's throwing like left jabs, right hooks, fucking uppercuts, all that shit. She's knocking the fuck out of this guy. I had to play that back because I'm like, bro, they did not. I mean, no, the man deserved it because he kidnapped children and shot people. But, like, bro, this man she gave out a full combo. She gave out like a 6-piece combo for no good reason. Oh, no, okay, not good. No, she had a very, very legitimate good reason for it. But, like, I was just not expecting that from Atari because she's always been like, oh, yeah, I have, like, rocket hands and I'm like, I can fight and blah, 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 blah. But we'd never seen it, and that's the first time I saw it. I was like, bro. Hey, don't scrap a little girl. Little girl beat your ass. And so I was like, whoa, he's fucking beating the shit out of this man. And it doesn't last long. It's only like she's just giving him a few licks and then he's just knocked the fuck out, right? Baller ass moment. The dude pulls out a gun. She walks up to it. He's about to shoot. She grabs the gun. She's like, all right, do it, bitch. Do it. It doesn't do it. Pulls the gun away. It's like, fuck you, nigga. It goes. Then the zero point comes where like Natsuki. No. Atari gives the gun to Natsuki, and it's like, Natsuki, I need you to dispose of me. I'm infected. I'm defective. I don't work, and I'm not built right. And Natsuki throws it away, where it's like, I'm not going to do that because you just be you. You have a heart. And she's like, okay, but I'm hurting humans and doing all this stuff. It's like, that's fine. Like, you're doing it because you're protecting people, and you probably have a lot bottled up inside. And she's like, and she says that it's okay to let things out. Like, you don't have to hold back. Like, like, I'm here for you. You can show your emotions as much as you want. And so, like, what happens is that, what happens is, not Atari. Obviously, you see her, she's getting emotional, and she starts crying. And this is kind of, like, baffling for everyone. She's like, a humanoid is crying. Motherfucker, if that ain't proof that someone got a heart, I don't know what is. Holy shit! Because like that definitely one of the things where it's like, oh no, that person is crying, and it's like that's kind of hard to dispute when you're seeing stuff like that, especially when you're seeing like just things like that. It's like, holy shit! And so they bring they bring Atari back to Natsuki's boat where like she's resting and stuff like that. They're talking about just like the whole situation. Like, no, she has a heart, and Natsuki wakes up and she's like apologizing and all that stuff. And he's like, you don't need to apologize. You're fine and whatever. And like, they have like a moment where they like hug. Still don't know how I feel about their little thing, but we'll get to that later. There's a moment though where it kind of scares me, where it seems like Atari like passed out again, and she's just kind of like, and I'm like, oh, she did not just die in his fucking arms. How the hell did that happen? She just passed out. That gave me a heart attack, but it also gives me the feeling that Natsuki might die. Like, so something might happen where she might die, and I'm like, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. That was really fucking sudden. Holy shit. And so she ends up going to sleep again, because again, she seems baffledly tired. And so it is Natsuki, Mamoe, and whatever the black girl's name is. I still don't remember her name. But Natsuki shows both of them Atari's old logbook. And they see the I love you and Sheena. Now, I didn't know this beforehand. I didn't see it because I thought it was like, oh, well, it's like Sheena, I love you and all that stuff. What he points out is like, oh no, it's not the I love you. It's the tear stains. There's tear stains on the page. And I sat there, I'm like, oh, there's tear stains on the page. So he makes the assumption of like, yeah, no, there's no way she would have cried writing that if it wasn't for, there's no way she would have wrote that with tears if she didn't have a heart. Because you have to have the heart to write it like that. There's just no way. Which I completely agree. It's one of those things where it's like, oh my god, no, that is so much, no, you have a heart, that's a heart, that is a heart, you care, and I understand now. And so as they're explaining, we finally understand and finally get to know what happens. Where Sheena, who I thought was the grandmother this entire time, was actually Natsuki's mom. I forget what the grandmother's name is. It was, I know they say it where it's like Mrs. whatever the fuck, but his grandmother made Atari, or brought or created or whatever, made or brought or whatever, Atari for Sheena, because she was trying to figure out the rising water levels, and she didn't really have time for Sheena. So she made Atari for Sheena, or just made Atari in general, and then used one of the Atari models for Sheena. Where, like, you see, like, the budding relationship where, like, you know, Sheena and Atari spending most of their days together, interacting, sleeping, playing games. And it's, like, really cute and stuff like that. And then, finally, as Sheena's growing up, we see that Sheena is finally starting middle school. But on her first day of middle school, things go bad because now she's getting bullied because she told a girl, hey, you probably shouldn't talk in class. Now, apparently, well, you know, typical Japanese bully stuff, right? Of just, like, oh, it's like, oh, you're gonna tell people what to do? Well, guess what? We're gonna fuck you to death, and we're gonna call you a pig, we're gonna call you a bitch. And, like, obviously, Sheena is taking it out on Atari, which, okay, going further into it, Sheena, as she's having Natsuki, talks to Natsuki, and she does admit that she said some terrible things to Natsuki. And she said some terrible things to Atari, and that she wish she never said that, and she hopes that Atari is doing well, and she hopes that, well, she says like a friend, but obviously at this point we know it's Atari, right? And so she's like, I hope that she's doing well, and I hope I could see her someday, because I said some really bad things that I wish I could apologize. She does admit what she did was wrong. She does admit that what she did was not good. But boy, at the time, thank God they put that towards the end, because I sat there, I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna lie, Sheena, you a straight bitch for this. Oh my God, how the fuck you gonna sit there and let this beautiful, just adorable girl help you? And let's go through it, because there are parts that definitely made upset. But like, when Sheena goes back home, right, she's stressed, she's angry, she's like throwing stuff at Atari, yelling at Atari, and being like, she's just like, because he was like, hey, you should probably tell your mom this shit's happening because this is not good. And she's just like, no, I'm not going to tell her because she's doing stuff. And I don't want her knowing this shit. And she's like, have you ever thought of my feelings? Like, of course she is, you dumb fucking bitch. What? I was so mad. I was like, of course I thought about your fucking feelings. And she's like, oh yeah, you can't because you're a fucking geek. No, okay, she doesn't say this aggressively. She doesn't say this aggressively. But she's like, yeah, of course you didn't. Because you're a humanoid. Because you don't have feelings. And we see her shut down the same way that she does down when Natsuki did it. Which makes that scene so much more sadder. Because it's like, oh, she did it as like a reflex. When Cena did it, it hurts. It hurts and it sucks. It sucks and it hurts. Because you see that, it's like, oh, that's not her just computing and stuff like that. That is her probably remembering what Sheena did, and whether subconsciously or consciously, fucking reacted the same way where she shut down. And she was just like, yeah, you're right, I don't have emotions. And I get it, she was under a lot of stress and she was a kid, but man, that hurt. But Atari, obviously caring about Sheena, she's like, I gotta do something. I gotta figure it out because the stress levels have been like this for 3 months, and if it keeps going, it's gonna get bad. And so Atari, which I find funny, goes to school, and I love it because she just like, you think this is the way that she can break in? Motherfucker just jumps the fence hella high, and it's just like, that's one way to break into a school, I guess. Also, theme of this week apparently is breaking into schools. But Atari's going, like, trying to see, like, oh, yeah, this is where, like, she studies and all that stuff. And she overhears, like, oh, yeah, someone is going to jump. And it's like, who the fuck? And so we see that Sheena looks like she's about to jump. And, like, Atari's sitting there, she's like, I need to do something, because if she jumps, there's a 97% chance she will actually die. And, bro, I'm not gonna lie, this got me so heated, because it's like, you see the girls, right? The teachers are like, hey, Sheena, you need to come down, honey. Everything's gonna be fine. We can talk about this. And the girl is just like, whatever, you know, she's a dumb bitch. You go jump. Like they're chanting for her to jump. I'm like, bro, ain't no fucking way, bro. Okay, hold on. A super hard side tangent for anybody that goes, but like, do y'all remember that like meme that was going around where people were just like, I know it's not the same, but I feel like it's applicable. Where it was just like, oh yeah, Korean drama bullies, where it's just like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. And it's like American schools, like the American transfers to like a Korean like school with Korean bullies. He just fucking brings out a gun, and everyone's like, whoa, hold on. It's like, no, I'm not playing with you, nigga. What's good? It's like, you gonna run up on me? This is those moments where I'm just like, ain't no way, bro. I would fight. I'm taking a bat to all y'all. Abso-fucking-lutely, y'all getting decked out the fucking womb. There's no fucking way I'm beating your ass. I'm beating your fucking ass. But like, and that's what I appreciate about Atri in this scene. Because Atri sits there, she's like, I need to do something. And bro, I haven't, that was crazy seeing this in this show. But she had that face of like, that pure anger face of just like, nah, you're not fucking with my girl. Of just like, Atari grabs her, spins her, blank eyes, full of rage, and just fucking swings on her. Like, they bring her down, but they bring Sheena down because of all this. Everyone backs up, they're like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And like, they take her away and stuff like that. And Atari was like, listen, I'm sorry, I have no idea what happened. And Sheena looked at her and she's like, I didn't even ask you to do this. You're a monster. That moment, I'm not gonna lie, at that moment, I'm like, girl, I wish you jumped. That's hella mean. That's hella mean of me, right? I don't mean it in that sense. But my Lord in heaven, like, I get it, you're angry, there's a lot of emotions. I completely understand that. But how are you not aware of, like, what I was doing? Because obviously, everyone was chanting for you to jump. This girl, Anthony, comes in and saves you, and you call her a monster. Now, like I said before, Sheena, when she's talking to Natsuki at a very young age, tells her that she said some mean things. That's why I'm not mad at Sheena anymore. People can change, they grow up, they do all that stuff. Just in the moment, I was super fucking heated. But the saddest part about this, when it comes to everything, is that I guess Atari and Sheena don't actually interact, or they at least keep their distance. But for this entire time, as she's graduating, as she's creating the family, as she's doing all that stuff, Atari is there, watching everything, making sure that Sheena is okay. Which proves like there is at least some form of attachment there, some form of heart and care. Where like she is sitting there and she's watching her go through life. And the grandmother was aware of this and seeing how much pain there was. And so what it sounds like is the grandmother erased those memories from her and then put her to slumber. That way it's like, no, she's not hurting anymore, man. That way she's not hurting. So I have either two theories that happen, because obviously there's the connect of like, okay, well, where does it come in where Atari comes to save Natsuki? My two theories is that it was either the mom or the grandmother. I have to assume it's most likely the mother, where I could see it of like them trying to like get away or something happening. The mother finding the pod, uncovering her, and I don't know if she would have remembered and being like, oh my god, Sheena, you okay? Like, blah, 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 blah. And she looks at Atari and she's like, no, fuck me, save my son. Fuck me, save my son. Please, I'm begging you, as an old friend, you need to save Natsuki. He's alone and he is afraid. And man, if that's the case, that might make me cry. Because that would be super sad. But after learning about all that and learning about, or like reading everything, Natsuki wakes up again and she's like, I have like a request. And I think they go down to like where the cliff was. Because I don't think that cliff exists anymore. But they go down to where the cliff was. And Natsuki tells Atri, it's like, yeah, no, my mom was talking about you and I think you were that friend. And it's this nice kind of cycle thing that comes where it was Atri took care of... No, Sheena took care of Atri at like a young age, being like, there, it's okay. Atri did it to Natsuki, being like, there, it's okay. And now Natsuki can finally do it to Atri. It would be like, nah, it's okay. Which is like, honestly, that was very sweet. I actually really liked that. That was cute. It was very, very cute. Now, the thing that was on my mind kind of this, of just like, okay, so we kind of have that realization. There's still some things we have to realize, like, where does Natsuki and Atri's relationship go from here? Because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, there is that, but also, y'all were doing some kissing and maybe a little bit of flirting and all that stuff. And now it's pivoted to, like, the age thing to now just, like, well, you were my mom's thing. Like, this is complicated. I'm going to be honest. Just talking about that is so fucking complicated. I don't even want to try. I don't even want to fucking try because this is hard. It is hard to even want to try to touch that. But yeah, I did think this was cute, and I did think this was awesome, and I did like it. I like it a lot. I would definitely give this episode also like another 8.5. I think everything was kind of like I was definitely surprised, but I don't think I was like, oh, what the fuck. I mean, other than that fucking 6-piece combo she gave that dude, she gave Mr. Yamada. But yeah, no, 8.5 out of 10. I think would be an appropriate ranking for this. I like it. I love this episode. I'm very interested to see where they go with this now, because now that we know this, now that we know that, I wonder what's going to happen. Also, if anyone's curious, what they do with Mr. Yamada and his assistant is that they actually go, I think it's Ryu and Catherine are going to the mainland, and while they can't really do anything about the humanoid damage, the motherfucker kidnapped the kid and point guns at the kid, so there's going to be some like, hey, yeah, you can't fucking do that again, motherfucker. What are you wrong with you? Like, you fucking idiot. But it also might bring some attention to Atri, which I assume might actually happen. So, we will see. We will see. We have, I assume, like, 2 more episodes, because it's episode 10. And it's either 12 episodes. It's either 12 episodes or 13 episodes. So, we have 2 or 3 more episodes for this. So, we'll see what direction this goes in. But overall, I'm still happy with this.